Hey everybody, welcome to Kitchen Talk with Granna. So glad you guys can come in the kitchen with me today and just spend a few minutes. I'm not going to keep you very long. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend. I hope you enjoyed family. If you got a chance to spend some time with family, I just hope everybody got a chance to get out and enjoy it, okay? Okay, before we get started, you guys know what the routine is. Go ahead, down there at the bottom of your screen, right on down there, go ahead and take care of that share button. Share my video with all your family and friends. Go ahead and take care of that thumbs up button. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up on my video. And if you have not become a follower of Granna, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become one of my followers, okay? Thank you guys. Okay, so you guys know for the last week or so, in a few days, I was on vacation and I had a lot of fun with my family. So I am back and I'm glad to be back talking to you guys. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about, before I went on vacation, you know, that was the week of Juneteenth and everybody was celebrating the freedom of slavery and all that. And they had a lot of, you know, good movies, Black history movies on TV that week. And I was watching Selma, the movie about Selma, the march on Selma to Montgomery back during the 60s, the civil rights movement and stuff. And I was watching that movie and it's just crazy how much racism that was just brought out just in that movie alone, you know, here in Alabama. And, you know, and I was thinking about, you know, why they're always questioning us when we, as we protest and we talk about Black Lives Matters, why they're always trying to define it as, well, all life matters. And it's true, and we know that, we acknowledge that, we're well aware that all lives matter. But if you don't understand why we say Black Lives Matter and why we're protesting today, then you need to sit down and watch, just watch that movie alone. Just watch Selma and it will open up your eyes to the reason why we are protesting for our lives. I mean, there was so much racism going on here in just the state of Alabama alone. I mean, we had one of the most racist governor of all times, Governor Wallace. He was such a racial person and he cared nothing, 0% about African American, or back then as they called them, colored folks, you know, and they didn't care anything about our lives, how they beat those protesters as they walked across the bridge. It's just crazy. And there's so much similarity in what happened back then. Yes, they was protesting for our rights to have the right to vote. And today we are protesting just to simply be alive, just to simply live our lives and not have our life taken away from us. So it's so much similarity in the different protests from the 60s and what's going on now in today's time in 2020. You know, I was sitting back as I was watching that show, and I was just thinking back, you know, on my childhood and what I've heard and experienced through the eyes of my parents and what they went through. You know, it's crazy because just, you know, as of today, I'm 58 years old, and I can remember as far back as when our identity at that time, I mean, from just what I can remember, our identities as African American has been changed by the white man 4 times that I can remember. I remember being your identity on any type of your personal forms of personal information, as far as trying to apply for a job, as far as your driver's license, as far as your birth certificate, all that stated. I remember when they had you down as your race as a Negro. That was your race, you know, a Negro. And then it went from being a Negro to it went to being a colored person, colored. I mean, come on. That never made any sense to me, because what do you mean color? That could be any color, but we was classified as a color individual. And then it went from being that to a black person, just the color black, BLACK, you know, as our identity or our race. And now it's our race on any type of identification form or your birth certificate or anything like that is now you're stated as a African American person. I mean, the white man has changed our identity 4 times that I know of, and I can remember. And then they want to know why we are the way we are, or why we act or why our actions are the way they are when it comes to us speaking on discrimination, race, and all that. You know, no other race has had their identity changed that many times. They've never had their identity changed. You know, it's never went from one race to this to this to this. It's just crazy, you know, that they, as you know, the white man had that much control over our lives and our identity that they just put us down as to what. I mean, I'm not even going back to at one point our identity was slaves, just simply slaves. You know, so you got your slaves, you got your Negro, you got your black folks, you got your colored folks. I mean, it's just crazy when you sit back and you think about all the things that we as African Americans or black people have gone through and have survived just to get to where we are today. All the things we've had to fight for, you know, it's just really crazy. And I had never thought about it until I was sitting there and I was watching on Selma how the governor of the state at the time, Governor George Wallace, was talking about in one of the incident. He was saying that, you know, he didn't care if he could, he would gather up all them niggers and kill them and throw them into the Alabama River. They'll never be found again. That's how much he cared about, you know, this march that they had going on, the protests they had going on for the right to vote. You know, that's how he spoke about them. You know, you had the KKKs all up in it and everything, and it's just crazy. But then you want to sit back and ask us, why do we say Black Lives Matter? You know, that's why we say Black Lives Matter. And you don't have to constantly try to correct us in saying all lives matter, because yes, we know that, but the lives that we're referring to is the black lives, because we're the one that's constantly being killed, we're the one that's constantly being degraded, we're the one that's constantly being held down, we're the one that they're constantly putting the knee on the neck, and you know, not being able to feel free, you know, as we should. You know, we're the one that's always on alert. You know, we're the one that's always tiptoeing around to make sure that we're not gonna be killed or harmed or anything like that. So it's just crazy. But if you know, if some of these people that's questioning us on why we are using that statement would just go back and look into the history and go back and Google some of these situations that African American has lived through and survived through, and their ancestors had to go through, then they wouldn't even ask that question. You know, they wouldn't even be asking us, what is it that they should do? You know, just go back and read your history. Just go back and research some of those things. You know, it's just crazy because, like I said, as they was celebrating Juneteenth a few weeks ago and everything, you know, which was, once again, we was not given our freedom when we should have been given it. You know, out in Texas, they waited 2 whole years before they freed the slaves. And, you know, just all those different things, and just thinking back on my lifetime of how our identity has been changed from century to century, you know, all because of this is what the white man wanted to call us. You know, this is how he wanted to identify us. You know, doing everything possible to just giving us our identity as it should be. They continually to degrade us and call us what they wanted to call us. And they did that to no other race. No other race did they do that to. So it's just crazy. Like I said, you know, I sit back and I think about the different identities we've had, you know, and then they want to question, you know, what's so wrong with that N word? You know, what's so wrong with this? What's so wrong with that? Because they never experienced it. They never had their identity taken from them or their identity given to them according to what they thought we were, how they thought about us. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Like I said, I've seen and heard a lot of those stories growing up and from my parents and my grandparents. So it's just really crazy. But you know, it's just one more thing that we had to deal with back then. We didn't have a choice of choosing our identity, you know. But it just really amazed me how this world is, and here it is in 2020, and having too many things change. It hasn't changed that much, you know, at all. You know, it's just they try to cover it up a little bit better than they did, because back then they was just bold with it. They was bold. They just put it out there. They didn't care who heard them. They didn't care who saw them. They was bold. So now they just try to be a little bit more undercover. But you know, like they say, the old saying, anything you do in the dark, it will come to light. So that's just, you know, these days they just getting caught up in their actions. Their actions being put out there for everybody to see. And they're just, you know, they're just not used to us standing up for ourselves and defending ourselves with all they, you know, with what they do. You know, they're used to putting their actions out there, but they're not used to getting the reaction from us. You know, they're used to us bowing down and letting them do as they please, you know. So that was just a little something I was thinking about the last time I talked to you guys. So just wanted to throw that out there just a little bit. And you can go back and Google it, and you can see the different identity that has been given to us as African Americans throughout the time. You can go back, and it's going to start off with the slaves, and then it's going to go to Negro, and then it's going to go to colored folks, it's going to go to blacks, and then it's going to go to African American. And it may be some more names out there as far as our identity is concerned that you may be able to find. Okay? All right, thank you guys for hanging out in the kitchen with me today. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get up out of here. But before I do that, remember to go back and give me any reviews that you want to give me. I'm open for any reviews, but I'm not here to debate any of them, okay? But just make sure you be kind to everybody you come in contact with. Make sure you're still continuing to wear your mask. You're still practicing your social distance. This coronavirus is still out there, and I know a lot of people's gotten away from that. But just be safe and just enjoy your day, okay? You guys have a good one. I'll see you next time around.